Groovy English Podcast.
Hey there! Welcome back to Groovy English. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Aiden. We share real stories, useful tips, and everyday English to help you grow with confidence.
Wherever you are in your English learning journey, we're glad you're here.
If you're enjoying the podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, or share it with a friend. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Groovy English Podcast. I'm Sarah, and today we're diving into a fascinating topic that we all experience every day: feelings. More specifically, we'll explore how to express feelings in English using natural expressions that go beyond basic words like happy or sad. Expressing emotions accurately is a key part of communication, and it can make your English sound more fluent, nuanced, and authentic. Feelings are universal, but expressing them can be tricky, especially in another language. English has a wide range of expressions that capture subtle differences in emotion. For example, instead of simply saying, "I am happy," you can say, "I'm over the moon," "I'm on cloud nine," or "I'm walking on air." Each phrase conveys happiness, but with slightly different intensity and tone. Understanding these nuances is essential because emotions are not all-or-nothing experiences. Someone might feel mildly content, deeply joyful, or somewhere in between. English expressions allow us to convey these subtle differences. Saying, "I'm feeling blue," communicates sadness in a gentle, idiomatic way, whereas "I'm heartbroken" indicates intense emotional pain. Idioms and figurative expressions are particularly useful in conveying feelings. Phrases like "butterflies in my stomach" capture the physical sensation of nervousness, while "over the moon" paints a vivid image of happiness. Learning these expressions can make your language more colorful and expressive. Expressing anger or frustration also benefits from idiomatic language. Instead of saying, "I'm angry," you might say, "I'm fed up," "I'm seeing red," or "I've had it up to here." These expressions add intensity and emotion, allowing your listeners to understand not just what you feel, but how strongly you feel it. Fear and anxiety have their own set of idiomatic expressions. You might say, "I'm on edge," to describe mild anxiety, "I'm scared out of my wits" for extreme fear, or "I have cold feet" when nervous about an upcoming event. English offers many vivid ways to communicate fear beyond simple adjectives. Surprise and excitement are also rich with expressive language. Instead of "I'm surprised," you could say, "I'm blown away," or "I'm taken aback." For excitement, expressions like "I'm thrilled to bits" or "I can't wait" convey enthusiasm in a natural, native-like way. Using these phrases helps make your English more engaging and relatable. Love, affection, and warmth have countless expressions too. Instead of just saying, "I love this," you can say, "I adore it," "I'm crazy about it," or "I'm smitten." Each phrase expresses affection with a slightly different nuance, allowing you to communicate feelings more precisely. Confusion, doubt, and uncertainty are common emotions that also benefit from expressive language. Phrases like "I'm at a loss," "I'm torn," or "I'm in two minds" capture hesitation and indecision more vividly than simple adjectives like confused. These expressions help your audience understand the complexity of your feelings. English also has expressions that describe mixed or subtle emotions. For instance, bittersweet captures feelings that are happy and sad at the same time. Torn between two options communicates internal conflict. Learning these expressions allows you to convey layered emotions that simple adjectives cannot capture. Expressions for disappointment or regret can also be colorful and expressive. Instead of saying, "I'm disappointed," you might say, "I'm bummed out," "I'm gutted," or "I'm kicking myself." These phrases add emotional depth and often include a sense of personal involvement or responsibility. Gratitude and appreciation are important feelings to express effectively. Beyond "thank you," you can say, "I'm deeply grateful," "I can't thank you enough," or "I owe you one." Each phrase communicates thankfulness in slightly different ways, suitable for casual or formal contexts. Expressions for envy or jealousy include "green with envy" and "I'm feeling left out." These idioms are vivid, memorable, and widely used in everyday English, helping you communicate emotions that might otherwise be difficult to express. Embarrassment and shame are also covered by idiomatic expressions. Phrases like "I'm mortified," "I want the ground to swallow me up," or "I'm red-faced" paint a picture of emotional discomfort that simple adjectives fail to convey. Using these phrases makes your English more natural and expressive. Pride and confidence have their own colorful expressions. Instead of saying, "I'm proud," you could say, "I'm on top of the world," "I'm walking tall," or "I'm beaming with pride." These expressions convey positive self-esteem in a vivid, memorable way. Expressions for relief and calmness include, "I'm breathing a sigh of relief," "I feel at ease," or "I can finally relax." They capture the transition from tension to comfort, illustrating the dynamic nature of emotions and how English can convey those shifts. Humor and playfulness are emotions that English expresses uniquely. Phrases like "I'm cracking up" or "I'm in stitches" communicate laughter, amusement, and joy. Learning these expressions allows you to participate in casual, friendly conversations naturally. Boredom, indifference, and lack of interest also have idiomatic expressions. Instead of saying, "I'm bored," you can say, "I'm twiddling my thumbs," "I'm at my wit's end," or "I couldn't care less." These phrases help convey subtle shades of disengagement or frustration. Emotions are complex, and English offers many ways to capture subtle variations in feeling. For example, instead of saying, "I'm nervous," you can say, "I have butterflies in my stomach," to describe that fluttery sensation that comes before a big event. This idiom not only conveys nervousness but also includes the physical feeling associated with it, making your language more vivid. Similarly, when you want to express excitement, simple phrases like, "I'm excited," can be expanded with expressions such as, "I'm on pins and needles," "I can hardly contain myself," or "I'm buzzing with excitement." Each phrase conveys enthusiasm while also hinting at intensity and anticipation. Expressions of sadness vary greatly depending on the depth of emotion. Saying "I'm down" might indicate mild unhappiness, whereas "I'm heartbroken" communicates deep sorrow or loss. English provides a wide palette of expressions that help you differentiate between fleeting sadness and profound grief. Anger and frustration can be nuanced as well. For example, saying "I'm annoyed" is less intense than "I'm fuming" or "I'm livid." Each phrase communicates not only the emotion itself but also the level of intensity, helping your listener understand the degree of your feelings. Disappointment has its own rich set of expressions. Instead of simply saying, "I'm disappointed," you might say, "I'm gutted," "I'm crushed," or "I'm sorely disappointed." These phrases convey emotional weight and nuance, emphasizing the personal impact of the situation. Fear and apprehension are also richly expressed in English. Saying I'm scared is simple, but I'm shaking in my boots or I'm petrified paints a stronger picture of the intensity of the fear. Using figurative language helps your audience visualize and empathize with your experience. Happiness has a variety of expressive phrases as well. For instance, instead of saying, I'm happy, you might say, I'm over the moon, I'm on cloud 9, or I'm walking on air. These idioms convey joy in a more dynamic and engaging way, illustrating the exuberance of the emotion. Relief is another emotion with vivid expressions. Saying, I feel relieved, can be enhanced with phrases like, I can breathe again, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, or I'm finally at ease. These expressions convey both the emotional and physical sensation of release from tension. Expressions of love and affection are plentiful in English. Simple phrases like, I like you, or I love you, can be complemented with idioms such as, I'm head over heels, I'm smitten, or I'm crazy about you. These expressions allow speakers to communicate depth and intensity of emotion more effectively. Confusion and uncertainty can also be expressed creatively. Instead of I'm confused, you can say, I'm at a loss, I'm in a fog, or I'm torn. These expressions capture both the mental state and the emotional experience associated with indecision or lack of understanding. Embarrassment has many vivid idioms. Saying, I'm embarrassed, can be expanded to, I'm red-faced, I want the ground to swallow me up, or I'm mortified. These expressions convey both the feeling and the physical reaction, making your language more relatable. Jealousy and envy can be expressed in colorful ways. Instead of saying, I'm jealous, you could say, I'm green with envy, or I wish I had that. These idioms provide nuance and often include metaphorical imagery that makes your English more engaging. Expressions for excitement include both anticipation and thrill. For example, I can't wait can be complemented by, I'm on the edge of my seat, I'm itching with excitement, or I'm thrilled to bits. These phrases convey eagerness and emotional energy. Boredom can also be expressed through idioms. Instead of simply saying, I'm bored, you might say, I'm twiddling my thumbs, I'm losing interest, or I'm at my wit's end. These phrases communicate not just the state of boredom but also the emotional frustration that accompanies it. Gratitude is more than just saying, thank you. Expressive alternatives include, I'm deeply grateful, I can't thank you enough, or I owe you one. These phrases add depth and warmth to your expressions of appreciation. Expressions of pride can be varied and colorful. Instead of saying, I'm proud, you might say, I'm beaming with pride, I'm on top of the world, or I'm walking tall. These idioms communicate self-esteem and achievement in a more vivid way. Regret and remorse are also richly expressed in English. Instead of, I regret it, you could say, I wish I hadn't done that, I'm kicking myself, or I'm full of remorse. These phrases communicate both emotional weight and reflection. Hope and optimism have many expressive idioms. For instance, instead of saying, I hope so, you might say, fingers crossed, I'm keeping my hopes up, or I'm optimistic. These expressions convey emotional investment and a positive outlook. Expressions of surprise can be nuanced. Instead of saying, I'm surprised, you might say, I'm taken aback, I'm blown away, or I can't believe my eyes. These phrases capture both astonishment and emotional reaction. Curiosity and interest can be expressed in engaging ways. For example, I'm intrigued can be expanded to I'm fascinated, I'm dying to know, or I'm all ears. These expressions convey both intellectual engagement and emotional excitement. Frustration can be described vividly. Instead of saying, I'm frustrated, you could say, I'm pulling my hair out, I'm at my wit's end, or I'm banging my head against the wall. These idioms convey emotional intensity and physical imagery. Expressions for love can also include playfulness. For instance, I adore you can be complemented with I'm smitten, I'm head over heels for you, or you have my heart. These idioms communicate warmth, affection, and emotional depth. Loneliness has many expressive phrases. Instead of I'm lonely, you might say I feel isolated, I'm on my own, or I'm feeling blue. These phrases convey not just solitude but also emotional texture. Expressions for worry include idioms like I'm on edge, I have butterflies in my stomach, or I'm losing sleep over it. These phrases convey emotional tension and physical sensation simultaneously. Contentment can be expressed in subtle ways. Instead of I'm happy, you could say I'm at peace, I'm feeling cozy, or I'm satisfied. These idioms communicate calm joy rather than exuberant excitement. Excitement can also include anticipation. For instance, I'm looking forward to it can be expanded to I can hardly wait, I'm counting down the days, or I'm tingling with anticipation. These expressions convey both emotion and impatience. Expressions of disbelief include I can't believe it, you've got to be kidding me, or I'm in shock. These idioms convey astonishment and emotional intensity. Expressions of empathy can be articulated through phrases like, I feel for you, I understand what you're going through, or I can imagine how that feels. These expressions allow speakers to communicate compassion and emotional connection. Relief can be expressed with idioms like, I can breathe again, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, or I feel unburdened. These expressions convey emotional release and physical sensation. Expressions for nostalgia include, I'm walking down memory lane, I'm reminiscing, or it takes me back. These phrases evoke emotion tied to past experiences and personal history. Disgust or distaste can be expressed vividly. Instead of saying, I don't like it, you could say, it turns my stomach, I can't stand it, or it makes me cringe. These expressions communicate strong emotional reactions. Expressions for courage and determination include, I'm ready to face it, I'm standing my ground, or I'm holding my head high. These idioms convey both emotion and action, reflecting resilience and inner strength. Expressions for calm and relaxation include, I'm at ease, I'm unwinding, or I'm in my element. These phrases communicate a sense of comfort and emotional stability. Expressions for awe and admiration include, I'm amazed, I'm in awe, or I'm blown away. These idioms convey wonder, surprise, and deep appreciation. Expressions for playfulness and fun include, I'm having a blast, I'm in high spirits, or I'm cracking up. These idioms communicate joy, amusement, and lightheartedness. Expressions for anticipation or impatience include, I'm on tenterhooks, I'm counting the hours, or I can't wait a moment longer. These phrases convey excitement mixed with emotional tension. Emotions often manifest in subtle ways, and English provides a rich array of expressions to capture these nuances. For instance, you might feel slightly anxious before a big presentation. Instead of simply saying, I'm anxious, you could say, I have butterflies in my stomach, or I'm on edge. These idiomatic expressions allow listeners to visualize and empathize with your emotional state. Excitement can vary in intensity, and English offers idioms to reflect that. Saying, I'm excited is basic, but expressions like, I'm buzzing with excitement or I'm on cloud nine convey energy and joy in a more vivid way. They also show a natural, native-like command of emotional language. Sadness comes in many forms, from mild disappointment to deep grief. Saying, I'm sad might not convey the depth of feeling, whereas, I'm feeling blue, or I'm heartbroken, communicates emotional color and intensity. English idioms for sadness often include metaphorical language that makes them memorable and expressive. Anger and frustration are also richly expressed through idioms. I'm angry can be enhanced with, I'm seeing red, I'm fuming, or I've had it up to here. Each phrase communicates a different level of intensity and helps convey not just the emotion itself but the speaker's energy and urgency. Expressions of worry can include both emotional and physical sensations. Phrases like, I'm losing sleep over it, I'm on pins and needles, or I'm tense, communicate internal stress, nervous anticipation, and mental strain, making your English more engaging and vivid. Joyful feelings can be nuanced as well. Saying, I'm happy, could be expanded with expressions like, I'm over the moon, I'm elated, or I'm walking on air. Each conveys slightly different shades of happiness, from quiet contentment to exuberant delight. Gratitude goes beyond thank you. Expressing appreciation through idioms like, I can't thank you enough, I owe you one, or I'm forever grateful, adds emotional depth and conveys sincerity, making your English more heartfelt. Fear is another emotion that benefits from expressive idioms. Saying, I'm scared, could become, I'm shaking in my boots, I'm petrified, or I'm quaking with fear. These phrases convey both psychological and physical reactions, making the listener feel the intensity of your emotion. Expressions for love and affection can be playful, deep, or casual. For example, I adore you, I'm head over heels for you, and I'm smitten, all communicate affection but with different intensity and tone. Mastering these idioms allows for nuanced emotional expression in various contexts. Confusion and indecision are common feelings in daily life. Instead of simply saying, I'm confused, you could say, I'm at a loss, I'm in two minds, or I'm torn. These phrases convey inner conflict and hesitation, offering a more detailed picture of your mental state. Embarrassment can be expressed through colorful idioms that evoke physical reactions. Saying, I'm embarrassed, could be enhanced with, I'm red-faced, I want the ground to swallow me up, or I'm mortified. These expressions help listeners visualize the emotional and physical dimensions of embarrassment. Expressions of envy and jealousy often use metaphorical language. I'm green with envy, or I wish I had that, vividly communicates longing and desire, making your English more evocative and culturally nuanced. Excitement about events or experiences can be expressed through idioms like, I'm on the edge of my seat, I'm itching with excitement, or I'm thrilled to bits. These phrases capture anticipation and emotional energy, creating engaging descriptions of feelings. Boredom can also be communicated through idioms. Instead of saying, I'm bored, you might say, I'm twiddling my thumbs, I'm at my wit's end, or I'm losing interest. These expressions convey both mental and emotional disengagement. Expressions of pride convey self-esteem, achievement, and joy. Saying "I'm proud" could be enhanced with "I'm beaming with pride," "I'm walking tall," or "I'm on top of the world." Each phrase conveys emotional nuance and helps listeners feel the significance of the accomplishment. Regret and remorse can be expressed in various ways. Instead of "I regret it," you could say "I'm kicking myself," "I'm full of remorse," or "I wish I hadn't done that." These idioms communicate both reflection and emotional intensity. Hope and optimism are expressed through phrases like "fingers crossed," "I'm keeping my hopes up," or "I'm optimistic." Each conveys emotional investment and a positive outlook, helping to communicate belief in a better outcome. Surprise can be expressed with idioms like "I'm blown away," "I'm taken aback," or "I can't believe my eyes." These expressions communicate astonishment and emotional intensity, making your language vivid and engaging. Curiosity and interest can be communicated with phrases like "I'm intrigued," "I'm all ears," or "I'm dying to know." These idioms convey both intellectual engagement and emotional excitement, encouraging connection and conversation. Frustration can be vividly expressed through idioms like "I'm pulling my hair out," "I'm banging my head against the wall," or "I'm at my wit's end." These phrases convey intensity, urgency, and a sense of exasperation, making your English more authentic. Expressions of love and warmth include playful idioms like "I'm crazy about you," "I've got a soft spot for you," or "You have my heart." These expressions communicate affection, emotion, and personal connection in a vivid way. Loneliness and isolation can be expressed through idioms like "I feel on my own," "I'm in the doldrums," or "I'm feeling blue." These phrases convey not only solitude but also the emotional texture associated with being alone. Worry and anxiety can be expressed with idioms like "I'm on edge," "I have butterflies in my stomach," or "I'm losing sleep over it." These expressions communicate both emotional and physical tension, making feelings more relatable. Contentment and peace can be expressed through phrases like "I'm at ease," "I'm feeling cozy," or "I'm satisfied." These idioms convey calm happiness and comfort, illustrating subtle positive emotions. Excitement with anticipation can be communicated using idioms like "I'm tingling with anticipation," "I'm counting down the days," or "I can hardly wait." These phrases convey both emotional energy and impatience. Disbelief and astonishment can be expressed through idioms like "You've got to be kidding me," "I'm in shock," or "I can't believe it." These expressions communicate surprise and emotional intensity, enhancing storytelling. Empathy and understanding can be expressed with idioms like "I feel for you," "I know how that feels," or "I can imagine what you're going through." These phrases allow you to convey compassion and connection. Relief can be expressed through idioms like "I can breathe again," "A weight has been lifted off my shoulders," or "I feel unburdened." These phrases communicate both emotional and physical release, providing a vivid sense of comfort. Nostalgia can be conveyed with expressions like "I'm walking down memory lane," "I'm reminiscing," or "It takes me back." These idioms evoke emotion tied to personal and cultural history, making language reflective and engaging. Disgust and distaste can be expressed vividly. Instead of saying "I don't like it," you might say "It turns my stomach," "I can't stand it," or "It makes me cringe." These phrases communicate strong emotional reaction and personal intensity. Courage and determination can be expressed through idioms like "I'm standing my ground," "I'm holding my head high," or "I'm ready to face it." These phrases convey strength, resilience, and emotional resolve. Calmness and relaxation can be expressed with idioms like, I'm at peace, I'm unwinding, or I'm in my element. These expressions communicate serenity, comfort, and contentment in a natural way. Awe and admiration can be expressed with phrases like, I'm amazed, I'm in awe, or I'm blown away. These idioms convey wonder, appreciation, and emotional engagement. Playfulness and fun can be expressed through idioms like, I'm having a blast, I'm in high spirits, or I'm cracking up. These expressions convey joy, amusement, and lightheartedness, perfect for casual conversation. Anticipation and impatience can be expressed with idioms like, I'm on tenterhooks, I'm counting the hours, or I can't wait a moment longer. These phrases convey excitement mixed with emotional tension, engaging your audience. English expressions for feelings are not only useful in conversation, they enhance storytelling. Describing characters' emotions with idiomatic and figurative language creates a more engaging narrative and helps listeners or readers empathize with experiences and perspectives. Finally, practicing these expressions regularly will make them second nature. Listen to native speakers, read stories, watch movies, and engage in conversation. The more you immerse yourself in English expressions for feelings, the more naturally you will use them to communicate your own emotions.
Your English is shining brighter by the minute. Hit that next video to keep leveling up your skills. Or dive into our other episodes for more secrets to talk like a pro. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to join the Groovy English crew.